Brittany Darrington here, and you're listening to episode number 4 of Confessions of a Corporate Misfit, brought to you by the Corporate Misfit Club. If you've ever thought about starting a business and entrepreneurship is like a foreign language to you, then you're going to want to join us in the Corporate Misfit private Facebook group. In this community, you'll get weekly business resources, tips, and advice, and so much more. So why not come and join a bunch of like-minded individuals who get you? Now, as entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, we have to do something that is extremely bold. Now, what might that be? That bold thing is called believing in yourself. Though this sounds so easy, many of us struggle with believing in ourselves and our capabilities. I remember when I first started my business, and this business flopped and dropped like a hotcake. And many of my spectators looked at this failed business of mine as an end. For me, my higher power told me that this was just the beginning. And I'm so glad I listened, especially with my zodiac sign being a Taurus, which means I'm pretty hard-headed and stubborn and I don't always listen. But I am really grateful that I listened to this inner voice within that told me, keep going, even though I just lost $4,000 in investment, 6 months of time, and a ton of inventory that was sitting in my apartment. Today's guest, Shannon Walbran, shares the power of believing and trusting in yourself to reach your highest potential and make sound decisions in entrepreneurship. After working as a writer for an international NGO for 7 years, Shannon discovered her spiritual gifts and became a psychic. She has been practicing as a psychic and spiritual mentor since 2003, helping more than 25,000 clients directly tap into their own divine guidance and radically improving their lives. Hashtag you are guided. Now, if you're just tuning in, I want to hear from you. So go ahead and head over to iTunes, rate us and subscribe, and let me know what are your favorite takeaways from today's episode. So let's go ahead and dive in.
You're listening to the Corporate Misfit Podcast with Brittany Darrington, where female entrepreneurs can get powerful tips and advice on how to start, launch, and grow their business.
Well, hello, Corporate Misfits. Brittany Darrington here, and I am so excited for today's podcast and interview. We have Shannon Walbran, who is here with us today. Welcome, Shannon, to the show. I am so excited to have you on a Confessions of a Corporate Misfit.
Brittany, I love your vision. I really think that so many people are corporate misfits, and they don't know how to hear the little voice, which is sometimes a big voice, that comes and says, it's really time for you to move on. It's time for you to become your own sovereign nation.
Yes. And that is so true. So many people decide, okay, I'm going to go into starting a business, but I got to wait until everything is right. Or I'm going to stay in my corporate job until everything lines up. And then I'm going to go after what it is that I have dreamed of or what I want to turn into reality. So there's so many corporate misfits out there, but they just don't know how to go into being a full-on entrepreneur or being able to really turn that dream into reality.
Yeah, some people are, they're afraid to take the risk, but for good reasons. Let's not throw somebody out onto the street if they have 3 children to feed,
Absolutely.
We've got to take care of the practical things. And as women, often as mothers, those are the things that are our priorities. But there are ways to do both, aren't there?
Absolutely. Now, Shannon, I want to learn all about your business. Can you tell us about what you do and how you help individuals within your field?
Gladly. I am a psychic. So I really just say I'm a psychic. I'm a psychic and spiritual mentor for high vibration women like you, women who have big ideas, and women who already believe that there is a divine intelligence helping us. So women of faith, it doesn't necessarily matter which religion, but just a sense of being loved, a sense of knowing that something else is beyond our physical world. And this invisible help is available to us to tap into at any time. So my real job is to help you see that you are loved and you are guided and you can take steps to listen and to tune in so that you can go forward on your path with more confidence, more stability, and to make the right kinds of decisions.
Wow, that is so amazing. How did you get into this? And I know you started in 2003.
It was radical. It was a huge, big change. So I grew up in the States. I grew up in Minnesota, and I went to college in Dallas, in Texas. So I went to University of Dallas, which is in Irving. It's a Catholic university. And part of their program is to send people overseas to go study in Rome, like the good Catholics always want to go meet the Pope. So I went over and met the Pope. And when you're there, you get a ticket on the Eurail, to travel on the trains. So I tried to see as many countries as I could. And I said, ooh, I'm never going to stop traveling for my whole life. This is the best thing that I've ever done, ever. I'm 18. I want to know about every country in the world. So now I'm 49, It's 30 years later.
Wow.
And I've been to 49 countries. And I'm not stopping. I keep on seeing country after country after country. But to answer your question, how did I change in my business and how did I start my business? I graduated with a degree in English. I became a teacher, but I immediately went overseas. So I started teaching English overseas because I wanted to get out and see stuff. And then I learned how to be a translator because when you're in a foreign country, people don't speak English, you learn translation. So I tried to learn as many languages as I could. But along the way, it wasn't translating that I was actually learning. It was spiritual development because I started to work for this nonprofit organization writing case studies, and I would do just what you're doing. How did you get to where you're doing? How many children have you fed? How many houses have you built? But they would start telling me about their life crises and where they had a breakdown and where they felt guided to do something really that they were passionate about. And I'm like, wow, me too. I want to do that. So the learning was preparation for my moment, which happened when I was 33.
Wow.
And I was traveling again. And I was in Egypt. I was in the Sinai Desert, which is where Moses got his message. And I was meditating. And as I was meditating, I heard a big outside voice say, now it's time for you to help other people. And I looked around and there was nobody there. But there was somebody there. It was one of my angels. So right then, I put all of my spiritual learning. I'd been going to psychics. I'd been going to healers. Every country I went to, I'd try to find the shamans. And I started to help people right then. And I quit my job working for the NGO. And I opened up a shop. And what? I was broke. I was totally broke. Broke. I ate. I always tell the story. I bought a bag of flour, right? And I made pancakes for 3 months. I ate pancakes. That's all I ate.
Are you sick of pancakes right now? Are you like, when you see pancakes, are you like, get away from me?
That was in 2003. So I am ready to eat a pancake, but now I'll just do like a crepe. It has to be a crepe with Nutella, something a little bit fancy.
And when you heard this voice, when you heard that calling to go out there and help others, did you automatically know and where to start? Or did you kind of go and do some research and planning for it?
Nothing in our lives is wasted. So everything that we've accumulated, whether it's like, look at how beautiful your set is, your couch with your paintings and stuff like that. So you've been looking at magazines and you've been, thinking about decor, but you're not an interior decorator. You just have really good taste. And look how your sweater matches the yellow flowers, like and there's even yellow in the painting. You have an aesthetic and you've been collecting your aesthetic for a long, long time. You walk into a hotel lobby, you say, oh yeah, I like the way they've done this. You walk into somebody else's house, you go, oh no, I don't like what she's done here. Okay, but you don't say anything. So nothing that we do is ever wasted. So I had been going to see a kinesiologist. Have you ever been to a kinesiologist? Do you know
I sure
that kind
have.
of a
Yes,
yeah.
I definitely have. Mm-hmm.
They're great, aren't they?
They really are. And they know so much information. I'm so shocked when I hear what they share. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you know that? How can you remember that name?
How do you know that? Mm-hmm. So when they do muscle testing on you and they say, should Brittany drink coffee or should Brittany, how many hours of sleep should Brittany do? Have it every night. Brittany should have 6, 7, 7 hours of sleep. They're asking your body rather than your mind, right? Because your mind says, oh, I can have sugar. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, I can drink coffee. Oh, yes, I can. But your body goes, not really. So I already knew how to do kinesiology muscle testing for myself on food. You can take your calendar for the day, right? Mm-hmm. And you can say, which of these people should I call first? Should I call him first? No. Should I call her first? Yes. Really? Okay, great. I'll do that first. Here's my list of to-do stuff, Should I do that first, that first? Oh, you want me to pay the bills first? That's so boring. Okay, but if I get it out of the way, I'll feel better for the rest of the day. So who am I asking when I ask that question? I'm asking my body what my body wants, but I'm actually asking my soul. I'm asking my spirit what's best for me. And I believe that my soul, my spirit, my inner self is a good thing anyway. It's my higher self. You know, it knows better than me. Like, I think I'm going to go to the park. But it is also connected to my angels and guides, who are even more advanced beings. And this higher self is talking to the angels and guides and saying, what do you think Shannon should do? Should Shannon be on Brittany's interview podcast? Yeah, sure she should. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Wow. I am so impressed. And I love hearing this because I am really big on spiritual and really going with the inner divine self and listening to ourselves, because our body does know if we should do something or not. You know, it's like that gut feeling that we sometimes get when we're like, we shouldn't even go that direction, or maybe we shouldn't try that. Maybe we should try something different. It's so crazy how powerful we really are within. And when we allow ourselves to share that and like use that inner being to help us decide what's next for us, it's so powerful. And it's amazing to see where you can go from there. It's powerful.
I totally agree. But you know how you have 5 senses? I can smell, I can taste, I can see, I can hear.
Mm-hmm.
Your strongest sense is actually your sense of smell. Did you know that about yourself?
No, I didn't.
If there's milk in the fridge and
Mm-hmm.
I say, is this still good? Is this milk still good? And I hand it to you. Do you know whether the milk is still good or not?
Absolutely. I am really good at like knowing. I can smell things, like if there's an odor, or if it smells pleasant, whatever it is, like I can smell it usually whenever I either put it up to me or when it walks by or whatever it might be. Wow.
So I can't. That is not my strong point. So like I have a kid and I'll often be like, I'll pour him just like a teaspoonful of milk. And I'm like, can you try this? And he goes, Mom, that is bad. Mom, the milk is bad.
Not good. I don't want it.
Sorry, kid. Okay, so your sense of smell is actually your strongest of your 5. And we use our 5 senses to get to our 6th sense. You know, they call it the 6th sense when you're connected to your guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So this one relies a lot on tactile. You are tactile, and you also have a good sense of hearing, and you also have a good sense of sight. But it's just, which one is advanced? You know, which one is your X-Men sense? So your X-Men sense is your sense of smell. And
Wow.
my X-Men sense is my tactile. So I can do this and I can be like, you know, so I do it for clients. So I do this, you know, should Brittany go into partnership with that whatever person over there? And then I get this like halfway. Can you see them? It's like, well, kind of, you know, but actually she has to watch out for this other thing. So my sense of touch is super developed. So
Wow.
I do it for myself. I recommend that you do it for you. So you have a contract in front of you and you're like, should I go into a partnership with this person? Take a deep breath and smell the contract. I mean, I know that sounds dumb.
Yeah,
but smell the idea of the contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Smell the idea of working with whatever, that guy. And then go like, okay, what do I smell my own perfume? Or do I smell suddenly do I smell the kitchen garbage that's like 25 feet away from me, but a little molecule of that smell just went into your nose. And that's the angels going, this contract is garbage.
Don't do it. Absolutely.
Isn't that funny?
I'm going to start doing that. And I don't care how silly I look. I'm going to start doing this in every meeting. Like,
who needs to know? Who needs to know? You're just breathing. You're just going.
Exactly. Just, what am I smelling? I'm trying that. But in the next meeting that I have, especially with anything that requires me to have to make a decision, I am going to do that before I actually move forward with my decision. I'm going to just smell.
What I want to recommend is, and I have an e-course that's about doing these kinds of things. I would love for you to practice doing little tiny things that are not worth $500,000. Okay.
Yeah.
But little tiny things like, should I buy a new couch? You know? Okay. Or something small. Should I go to that yoga class or that other yoga class? Like that. Like it's not a deal breaker.
Yes. Something that's small, and think about it and like, okay, all right, I'm going to try that.
Okay. Don't do it with the big deal yet. Okay. Do some practicing around some like low risk.
Absolutely. Now, did you have to go for any training, such as maybe online courses, or did you have to go and sign up for spiritual training? How did you get into, or how did you become certified to kind of do what you're doing right now?
So I was really blessed to be raised in quite a religious household. And
Mm-hmm.
in some ways it was a bit constrictive, and in some ways it was super educational. So as I mentioned, my university, I had a strong religious upbringing from day one, from kindergarten all the way through, and we had theology classes, all the way through my 4 years of university. So I'm really grateful for that. And also because it was so strongly imposed on me, if you know what I mean, it gave me a really good, when you know something really well, you can contrast it with other things so easily. If you know opera very deeply, you can hear jazz and you can say, oh, guess what? You know what? They're using the same instruments. Oh, I can hear that. But if you don't know opera and you don't know jazz, then you're like, oh, they both sound okay.
Mm-hmm.
So from after university, I studied Reiki, sacred geometry. I studied Judaism and Kabbalah. I studied Buddhism, and I went on Vipassana retreats. I did study kinesiology, and I am still studying it. And I studied hypnotherapy. So all of these things gave me lots of tools, but the gift was just God-given, and now you're going to do this. So, okay, I got the big message from the big boss. That's what it is.
Now, did you have any fears or resistance or hesitation to follow that calling that you heard? Or were you automatically, you knew right then and there, I have to do it. There's nothing holding me back. I'm going to go straight forward into it.
So I guess I would answer that it was both. I knew that I was going to do it. I knew that it was the right thing to do, and I didn't care what anybody else thought. However, there was a lot of pushback from other people in my life, and then that caused me distress. I mean, I'm still a human, So the guy that I was dating broke up with me. My family said, what? And other people were like, oh, so you think that you know everything now. So really, I had to work on my own self-esteem and my own boundaries in order to say, no, I only work when I'm in a client relationship. I'm not, like a dentist. A dentist does not go around and go like, hey, it looks like
You
I
have
think the
cavity.
crown in the bag. So, there's the Long Island medium who goes into supermarkets and stuff, and she tells people things. So I don't do that at all. I wait until I have a client. We have an energy exchange. We have a relationship. The client asks questions. So I don't say, I know I did do a little volunteering with you about, I think your sense of smell is your strongest. That's about as much volunteering as I'll do. But people say, should I marry this guy and why? Should I move to Arizona? I'm thinking of moving to Arizona. But they don't say, I'm thinking of moving to Arizona because my sister has a business and she wants me to start the business with her and.
Wow.
They just say, should I move to Arizona? And then the angels go, well, there's a good business opportunity for you there, and also the climate is very good because you're prone to asthma. And she goes, yes, I am. The question has to come from them. I wrote up a sample book of 100 questions that I've been on the radio for like 15 years. And people keep asking bad questions and good questions. My fear was that I wouldn't be able to answer their questions. Oh, that was kind of a dumb fear because angels can answer anything. But some of the questions are not so productive. Some questions are like this. Can you tell me everything about my life? No. Yeah. Another question that doesn't work is like, help me. I'm so lost. Okay, that doesn't really go anywhere. But if you say, I'm thinking about opening up a restaurant. Is that a good idea? What should I watch out for? Should I do it like this or this? That's a good question.
And was it hard for you to find clients in the very beginning, especially because you are going so deep once you get to hear their question and then being able to share information that sometimes can either one, scare the heck out of someone or be like, oh my gosh, that's very true. Did you have any trouble or pushback from customers and how did you handle that if so?
So, well, yeah, there are a lot of answers to those questions. That's really good. I think I am guided. So hashtag I am guided. Within a month, a national radio station had asked me to come on. I was like, how did you even hear about me? And they said, we just heard about you from somebody. So that's how I got on radio, real radio, normal radio that you turn on. I got on right away. And then I got kind of famous. Here in South Africa, I'm a little bit famous. Like I walk down the street and people go, or my Uber drivers, they hear my voice. They're like, are you the angel lady? I go, yeah, I'm the angel lady. Can I ask you a question? No. Can you please just drive me? So the pushback that I get from real people is, Why don't you answer my question when I talk to you on the street?
Mm,
But
interesting.
that's not really fair either way, because this is my bread and butter. And also, we're not in a sacred space. We're not in a healthy environment. I haven't meditated. I haven't prayed. I'm not prepared. And it's not fair to me. You're not paying me. So it's not cool.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people, especially in the very beginning, so many people are asking for services or products for free. When entrepreneurs go into business, whether that be friends, family, whomever, they're like, "Can I have this for free? Or how about you give it to me and I'll try it out and I'll get back to you."
Yeah.
What do you recommend when someone is going into business and they have someone asking for free services, free products? How do you recommend they respond to those types of questions so that they can still continue to build their business, but they're also not just saying no and leaving it there?
Yeah, the no is really, it's awful to say and it's also awful to hear.
Mhm.
So the solution is to create a freebie that helps people either do it themselves or figure something out themselves, and give them the freebie with a lot of love, and then say, try this. This will help you. And then, but come back to me if it's not enough. So when I do radio shows, which I was on one yesterday, it gives a lot of social proof. So
Mhm.
people call in and I answer their question. People call in and I answer their question. I don't get paid to be on radio, but I get paid by the marketing. And then my calendar fills up, fills up, fills up. So find a way to do what you do for free, but you're actually getting compensated either by a lot of marketing
Mhm.
or give somebody something for free. So let's say somebody's selling skincare, right? Make a freebie that's a checklist, 10 things you should never put on your skin. And then you put, like, rubbing alcohol or whatever you believe you shouldn't put on your skin. 10 ways to solve acne on your own. And then somebody goes, okay, I did that. My skin is better, but it's not great. And you go, oh, you need a facial that I do. Yeah, whatever they do.
Now, how long did it take for you to turn your business into a full-time job? So many people freak out about, okay, I'm going to start my own business, but I'm not making a full-time living, or I'm not making any money. I know you mentioned earlier, I was eating pancakes for a very long time because that's all I could afford. So how long did it take for you to actually make a full-time living doing what you do right now?
So the 3 months of pancakes, the worst 3 pancake months in my life, were luckily just 3 months. And do you know about the podcast called Choose Fi? Have you heard about that? Choose Financial Independence.
No, I haven't. I definitely
I'll
want to check it
recommend
out.
it. It's an American podcast, and it's about how can I get to be financially independent and retire early. Choose Fi
Okay.
does have a podcast for people who follow Mr. Money Mustache
Oh,
and everybody else. So
okay.
it's like they call it the crowdsourced podcast. So
Mhm.
just like you, what you're doing now, they interview different kinds of ordinary people and who are becoming financially independent.
Mhm.
So the reason that I'm mentioning this is I'm a fan, okay, and I think they're on the right track. But what they say is in order to become financially independent, you reduce your expenses to nothing so that when you make money, you're okay. So
Mhm.
I moved into, I had a very lovely apartment with a sea view in Cape Town, actually, in Cape Town, South Africa. And it was gorgeous. And I ate out, I ate sushi, like I was living the high life. And then I moved into a teeny tiny one-room cottage in the back of somebody else's house in a not very nice neighborhood. It was okay, but it wasn't that great. And so my expenses, and then I calculated how many clients I would need just to pay rent, right? I would need 7 clients a month to pay rent, but not to eat, just to pay rent. 7 clients. All I need is 7 clients. How am I going to get 7 clients? And then I advertised in the free spiritual newsletter that a lot of cities have. Um, massage and Reiki and all this stuff. So I
Mhm.
put in an ad in that, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And the first month I had like 8 clients. So
Wow.
barely. And then from there, I said to the people, will you please bring me other clients? And then they did. So
Wow.
and that's the Choose Fi thing. The Choose Financial Independence is reduce your expenses down to nothing. And then
Mhm.
whatever you make, you'll live.
I totally agree with that, Shannon. And I had to sit down and just decide how many clients do I need? what do I need in order for me to make this specific amount so that I can pay my bills, live, and then, be able to eat. So how do I get down to the bare minimum? And a lot of people aren't willing to do what you did, what I have done, what other amazing entrepreneurs have done. You got to get rid of the things that are costly, that are not needed at this time. It is so important to just reduce.
Short. It's a short time, right? But Gmail is free. There are a lot of free tools that you can use to just get started. Facebook is free. Like, I was even worried about paying for internet at that time. So I was like, wow, okay, I have to go to an internet cafe. I mean, this was 15 years ago, but I would really ration myself on the internet. And these days we don't really have to worry about those kinds of things.
Awesome. And I'm so happy to hear someone else saying that too, because so many people think, okay, the only way for me to make my business work is if I match my salary from my corporate job or from my current position to my business. And that's the only way I'll be able to make it. But
you can aspire to do that. And I do, I have a mindset coach now. I still invest in coaching for myself. And she's really big on set your sights higher and set your goals higher. And so now I can do that. But in the beginning, I think when you have no proof, nobody knows who you are. I love our minimalist approach better.
You've been in business for 15 years now. How do you manage your time, and also how do you set goals effectively now?
Oh, so yeah, we're transitioning right into that question. That's great. So how I manage my time is, I'm a mom and my kid is in school. And so he goes to school between 8 and 2. And I do all of my client hours between 8 and 2. So I have a coaching group. I coach a group of executive women who are from around the world, and they get to ask one question per day, Monday through Friday, and then pushing forward and setting their own goals. So they've had new relationships, they've moved to new countries, they've started new businesses like that, because they just get this like inch by inch, and now what, and now what, and now I'm having an argument, now I'm having a fight, now I'm having a problem with my elbow, now I need this, now I need this. So from 8 until 9, I do that coaching group. And I also have just started a men's group, but there's nobody in there, to be honest. It's just, it's there. I'm waiting for that to happen. My demographics are about, hey men, my demographics are about 80% women, 20% men. And so I'm starting the group now. But then in the rest of the hours, so at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 12 o'clock, I have clients. So I do one-on-one clients. But my goal is to help them. I want to help the individual client, but I actually want to funnel her into my group, because I want to help her on an ongoing basis. But I'm vetting her and she's vetting me. So I'm asking myself, does she have a sense of humor? Does she understand her messages? And does she have agency? Is she willing to take action? Or does she hear like, you should, you should buy a petrol station or something, you should get a franchise. And she goes, oh, I could never do that. Then you go, okay, well, that's what they say you should do, so maybe you can think about that. But then she doesn't get invited to the coaching group. So the coaching group is for the people who go, I know what they're talking about. I can do that. That is part of my bigger plan. And then whoop, they get uplifted. So then I pick up my kid. And when he's playing and he's doing his homework, that's when I do my social media, because that's easy and you can get interrupted. And once a week I do a newsletter. The newsletter becomes a blog. The blog goes onto all the social media platforms and Medium and other ones so that it gets picked up. And that's the system. And then I'm designing courses, e-courses, so that I can have more passive income. I wrote a book. I made an audiobook version of it so that you can download it from Audible. So the more passive streams that I'm getting in, that's this next stage. I have enough people who know me and who are reading my material every week. Now I'm trying to get them to do it themselves. So the next course I'm going to design is called Fun Ways with Feng Shui.
I love that. And it's so fun too.
Like what you're doing, like you're so good at it. You don't need the course. You're like all aligned.
Gosh, I love how you said that, just because I know so many people, one of the reasons why they are afraid to go into business for themselves is because they are afraid that they might have to work 80 to 90 hours a week in order to make their business. I know, get away from me, 80 to 90 hours.
Never.
And so many people have been just, misinformed, I would say sometimes, of the only way you can actually get your company up and going is if you work 80 to 120 hours and things like that. I love that you just said you work your schedule around your family and you're able to say, okay, I'm going to do this during that time and I can shut down at this specific time. So I do have that opportunity to spend with my family and my loved ones and my friends. So I really love that you said that, because so many people sometimes are just either misinformed on how many hours you really have to work in order to successfully grow your business.
That's because automation and systems have really helped me. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a virtual assistant. She handles all of my scheduling. And
Oh,
when
wow.
people call and then they say, how much is it? And then she sends them an email and then they say, how about Tuesday? She says, okay, how about Tuesday? How about Wednesday? And most of that is automated anyway. They can go onto a calendar and they can see, how about Tuesday? Okay, Tuesday is available. And the payments are automated. And even things like, do you use Gmail as one of your email platforms? Do you
Yes,
know
I
how to
use
use,
email.
have you used canned responses?
Yes. So we use canned responses. We have, gosh, I think maybe about 10, and we use them especially on the customer service email side.
Aren't they the greatest?
I
So
love
I
it.
think we should tell your audience, look up canned responses. They've
Yes.
saved me so much. And also, so I have a virtual assistant, but I composed the canned response. So it's my words, it's my English. I did the grammar, I did the punctuation, you know, it's perfect. So then all she has to do is choose the right one and hit, and then it goes. So I never have to worry about her accidentally saying the wrong
Something that
thing.
wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, she's good, but I want to be in charge of the content. What she does is then she posts and makes the content fly.
And see, I think so many people forget that when you start a business, there's virtual assistants nowadays. There are so many people who can really help you succeed. I like to call it build your success team. I know for
Yes.
me, a success team. And I know for myself, like when we first got started, I started my business back in 2008. And
Okay.
I was overwhelmed. I was like, how do people do this? How do people really make this happen? And when I hired my first virtual assistant, which it actually wasn't even popular at that time, like people were like, what, virtual assistant? I never heard
I
of that.
know. I got one in 2004 and nobody had ever heard of it. In fact, she didn't know what it was. The virtual assistant didn't know what it was. I said, would you like to work for me as my secretary? Yes. You can work from home. Oh, great.
What?
I'm a mom. That's great. I can work from home.
That's so funny. Yeah, virtual assistants can save your life. So if anyone is looking to start a business and you already have that overwhelmed feeling, and maybe you can spare or give up maybe your coffee that day that you would normally pay $4 for, you can put that aside and use that to work with a virtual assistant, and it can help transform your business and also take some weight off of you and help you to do more of the things and the tasks that you enjoy versus going into tasks that you don't necessarily always love or enjoy, and you want to hand that off and let someone else use that time to help you grow your business.
Which we call the zone of genius. So when you're in your zone of genius, you're the most powerful. And when you hand over the admin, you stay in your zone of genius.
Absolutely. Now, what piece of advice, Shannon, would you give to new entrepreneurial women who are looking to start a business? What advice would you give them?
Mostly, I mean, that's super general, right? And I love to work with people individually and to say, your talents are like this and your skills are like this. But if I were to go really broad brush, I would say, focus on the service aspect, because then you don't have to keep stock. You don't have to hold shoes and bags and cans of makeup or paint or chalk paint or furniture that's just sitting there costing you money. Focus on the service aspect and do service, because trading time for money is not the end of the story, but it's definitely the beginning of the story.
Absolutely. Now, Shannon, we're going to do something called a lightning round where you're going to respond with one-word answers. I'm going to ask you a few questions and they're going to relate to your business. So let's get right to it. So what is your favorite business book?
My favorite business book is The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss.
Oh,
It changed my life. And even though it might seem a little bit dated, it is so totally worth reading. Read it anyway.
Absolutely. That's where I got the virtual assistant idea from that book. Changed my life as well.
But you followed through. You made it happen. And you got one. Some other people just read it and they're like, oh, that sounds like a nice idea. No, I did that in 2004. That's when I read the book.
Now, what product or service can you not live without within your business?
So I use ConvertKit for my emails. And why I love it is I don't have an enormous list right now. I have about 5,000 people on my list, but I have sent since 2017, I looked it up, 235,000 emails. And I
Wow.
can track all of the users, where they're from, what they liked, what they didn't like, what they bought afterwards. ConvertKit is affordable and it is a super, super email newsletter tool. I love it.
I know. I have been using ConvertKit now for about 2 years, and like
Have you?
yes, I know. I'm like, we're soul sisters.
Oh, I did not know that your email was ConvertKit. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we use ConvertKit, and it is so easy for us to like maneuver through with our email list and whatnot. I love ConvertKit. If you're looking to create funnels, especially too, they make it so easy that it's like, okay, yes, no, go from here, go from there. Just makes it such a smooth and efficient and automated process, like what you were mentioning earlier. Now, what is your favorite social media platform to showcase for your business?
So I love my own free Facebook group that's called Shannon Walbran Psychic School. Because every day I post a prompt or a question that helps people figure out, what's next in their life. So I'll say like, did anybody pick up a white feather this morning? Do you think that's a sign of good luck? And somebody will say, I saw a cat, or I picked up a coin. So it starts from scratch. People who are just beginning to learn about signs. It's got about 2,000 people in it. It's very diverse. So one of the things about spiritual psychics and the whole psychic world is that it's a lot of ladies who look like me. It's a lot of middle-aged white ladies. And okay, I am a middle-aged white lady, so I love myself, but I live in South Africa, and South Africa doesn't look like that. And my group is full of men, and not full of men, but there are men in my group, and I live in South Africa. It's full of Africans. It's so interesting to get into the cultural discussions. Did you know that it's not good luck to pick up a coin?
No, I did not know that.
I know. Find a penny, pick it up, and all day you'll have good luck, right? In South Africa, they're like, don't touch the coin. I go, what? What are you talking about? So then we do these such interesting dialogues and discussions in which I learn a lot. I learn a lot every day.
Now, who is your favorite entrepreneurial role model?
I have an author that I'd like to mention who is Anne Lamott. Do you know Anne Lamott?
No, I don't.
Anne is with an E, and Lamott is without an E. So it's ANNELAMOTT. That's it. So she writes books that are about the intersection between faith and real life. She's hilarious. She's uplifting. And I think she's going in the right direction. And she's becoming more and more and more famous. She's been famous for a while, but now she just got featured in the New York Times this week.
Oh, wow.
So one of her books is called Hallelujah Anyway. So she's really about living a life of faith. Faith is a verb. How do you get through the bad things? And she's very good with the recovery community. She's very good with the, like the social justice community. She's really a great thinker. So she's an entrepreneur in that she's an author. She's an artist. She does a lot of talks. She takes her books everywhere she goes. She sells a lot of books. And she's hitting it, right? She's hitting the point that I think people need to hear right now.
I can't wait to learn more about her and check all of her information out. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, what about your mantra? What mantra do you live by within your business?
So I have two. One is in the business, and one is in the business of life. So the business is done is better than perfect.
Yes. That is my screensaver. Literally, that is my screensaver. Done is better than perfect.
We are twins. We are twins. We are business buddy twins. And my other one is it's my hashtag, but I really do feel it. It's you are guided. And why I say hashtag you are guided is that actually, Brittany, it's about you. It's about the client. It's you are guided. I happen to be here as your translator. I happen to be helping you for this time, getting your messages. But you're the one who's guided. You're the one who's going to go out and apply these things in your life every day. So I am guided, you are guided, you are guided. I really want to let people know so that they don't become dependent on any psychics. Do you know people become dependent on psychics?
Yes. I think we want someone to give us all the answers and tell us exactly what to do at every single time in our lives. And it's really within us once we really discover that and understand that.
and some tools, a few tools and a few messages that sound right. And you go, oh, that's what they sound like. Okay, now next time I get an idea like that, yeah, I'm going to go through with it.
Oh, I love this, Shannon. It has been such an amazing time chatting with you and learning more about how you became a corporate misfit. I really have enjoyed it. Shannon, can you tell us how we can stay in touch with you, and also if you could share your website with us?
Thanks, Brittany. So my name is my social media, and everywhere I just use my same name as my tag. So it's Shannon Walbran. My website is shannonwalbran.com. Instagram, Shannon Walbran. Facebook, Shannon Walbran. Same. And the thing that I'd like to offer is my freebie, my book, 100 Questions for Your Angels, because it also offers 15 ways to do it yourself. And that's the point.
I am so excited for our listeners and viewers to be able to check that out, because I know, again, just our time together has been so powerful and inspiring. And I feel like I'm walking away with like, you're guided, and knowing that within, it's so powerful. It's just powerful right by itself. So thank you, Shannon, for sharing that with us. And we can't wait to learn more about your freebie and what you have to offer, and learn more about how to work with you. So thank you again, Shannon, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Stay blessed.
If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Corporate Misfit podcast, we invite you to check out the Corporate Misfit Club. The Corporate Misfit Club is the essential resource for female entrepreneurs who are looking to start or grow a business they actually love. Whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur in your startup phase, or simply thinking about taking the leap into entrepreneurship, we've got your back, girl. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive members-only discount perks, and unlimited tools. We also have a supportive community of women where our members share stories, experiences, their wins, and business tips. The Corporate Misfit Club is the perfect place to be to start, launch, or grow a business. So check it out at corporatemisfitclub.com.